Governor Newsom has passed and vetoed dozens of bills. One major bill that got the axe is mandatory kindergarten in California. He voted the bill last night, citing costs associated with providing kindergarten, which would be around $268 million annually. A bill the governor hasn't signed is AB 2183 that allows farm workers to vote in union elections by mail as opposed to voting locations. The United Farm Workers Union says voting on site can be intimidating. It's even led to some deportations in the past. Farm workers marched and have been holding vigils at the Capitol for weeks now, hoping to get Newsom to act on it. Joining us now to talk more about these two bills, ABC 10 political analyst Steve Swat. So, Steve, good late morning to you. Good to see you again. So the kindergarten bill has been vetoed. So was it strictly because of the cost? It would seem like this would be a popular bill to sign.
Yes, and it surprised a lot of people with this veto because the governor has been really out front for so much of his career on early childhood education. But the governor is using fiscal uncertainty as the reason for that veto. This measure, mandatory kindergarten, would cost about $268 million. Now, that's only a drop in the bucket compared to the $78 billion that the state currently is spending on education. But the governor is worried about a downturn going forward, perhaps even a national recession, which would wreak havoc with a state budget that currently is flush. And already in California, the tax receipts in August are down 6%.
The other one, Steve, we want to talk about is the farm workers. And marching from Delano to the Capitol, they've stayed at the Capitol. They want the governor to sign this bill, and I think he does want to sign it, but there's still, what's holding this up? Because President Biden wants the governor to sign it.
Yeah, the governor's in a real tough spot here. The president's come out in favor of it, as has Vice President Harris, Nancy Pelosi also. But the governor actually has sent some signals that he might veto it. And so he's in a tough position because if he signs the bill, that makes the progressives happy, but it would anger the agricultural community, especially in some of those states, Iowa and other states, that could come into play if the governor runs for president one day, whether it's 2024 or 2028. And so he's in this bind no matter what he does with this bill. And he only has a couple of days to decide. If he can either sign the bill, veto the bill before the end of the week, or if he doesn't sign the bill and just does nothing, the bill will become law.
So what's the reason he's not signing it? Because, maybe there's validity to it, but he's worried about if he signs the bill, it gives the impression that elections are not being run fairly as a whole. What's the holdup?
Yeah, the holdup, according to the governor, the holdup is the election. Right now, the elections are held on sites that the growers own, and the farm workers believe that could lead to intimidation, perhaps even deportation, since many of the farm workers are undocumented. And this bill would allow mail-in votes. And the governor is saying this is an untested mail-in system under the guidance of the ALRB, the Agricultural Labor Relations Act. And because of that, that's what he vetoed a similar measure last year. And that seems to be indicating that he might veto the bill this year for that reason. And so he believes that it could be electoral integrity.
Okay, electoral, I got that. All right, Steve Swat, ABC 10 political analyst. Steve, thank you for your insight into these two particular bills, which were not passed.